We are finally back home from our 3-month trip abroad in Asia, Korea, Japan, and China mainly. And we were staying at my mother-in-law's house for a few days because we had renters in our house. And so there was like just a couple overlap days where we couldn't come home, but we are finally back home. So I am ready to unpack my bag here, and I thought I would just kind of go through it as I unpack and show you what worked, what didn't, and that sort of thing. Full disclosure, I did not pack this. I was here cleaning while my husband was packing up my mother-in-law's house, so I'd say this is probably not packed how I would pack it. But starting with the bag, this is Sojura's Adela bag. It is not on the market yet, and disclosure, this is my product that I am making. It will be live and ready for purchase by November of 25, shipping starting in 26. So it is coming soon, and it has been really cool to be able to test this product firsthand while traveling and really make sure that it works for the intended purposes. So that is the bag here. I did come with a different bag, just an LL Bean backpack, but this has been much nicer to use than that. And let's see, Dan did not pack it with packing cubes, which of course I use. And I did design packing cubes that go directly with the bag and fit like the dimensions of the bag. So those were what I normally would use, but he didn't pack them in it, so it's not quite packed how I would pack it. Anyway, ton of stuff fits in here. Everything I brought for this trip fits in this bag, which is just great. Starting with these pair of pants. These were fantastic. Would highly recommend bringing something like this. I chose an elastic banded jean so that it was more comfortable for everyday travel, and I really enjoyed that. I did a wide leg, and I did kind of a cropped jean because this was summer travel, and I really appreciated it. One, just for heat, like they weren't quite as long, but two, rainy season in Asia, so when it was raining, my feet weren't kicking up and splashing onto my pants. So these were definitely great, and on colder days I was able to wear those too. Would highly recommend something like that. It was definitely well used. I also brought these tailored shorts. I would say these are not must-haves. I did wear them, and it was nice to kind of look a little more elegant some days, but I would not say they are must-haves. They are kind of like nice-to-haves. I also brought a pair of biker shorts. Honestly, I was using them more for PJs, and I never wore them. Instead, the ones that I have on, they're just like running shorts. I use those like literally almost every night. I did wear these like once or twice, but not really used. Probably could have left them home. These were probably my most used shorts. They are a green, just like I think 5-inch seam, and I used these a lot. Also, this belt that is on them, Dan didn't even take that off before he packed them. I used this belt constantly. Anytime I wore shorts, I pretty much had this belt on. One thing that made it that I packed was a pair of jean shorts, and those got left in Korea. At the end of the trip, like I did wear them, but they were not the greatest fit. They were just a little too big for me by the end of our traveling session, and I was like, it's not worth putting in my bag if I'm never gonna wear them when we get home. So I left them there. So honestly, I think I had one too many pair of shorts, two too many pair if I count the PJ ones. So I probably would have left these at home doing it again and brought maybe a denim that would have fit a little bit better. Okay, I did bring this long sleeve button up here. I really liked the neutralness of it, and this was a constant wear, especially with the sun being so prominent, and it was nice to have this even on a super, super hot day. I would sometimes wear long sleeves just to avoid getting sunburnt, and it was cold in May when we went sometimes, so it was nice to have, even just to tie it around my waist and change an outfit. This was definitely something I really enjoyed, loved having, a collared kind of button-up, long sleeve neutral print. I also brought a bathing suit. Of course, you probably need one if you're going anywhere with the beach. I would have brought one that packed a little bit better. This was quite structured of a suit and did not like pack very well. So I probably would pick a different suit going forward, but can't do anything about that now. I actually brought 2 belts thinking it would be a nice way to change up outfits, but honestly this one I did not use once. My kids used it as a toy and like a leash to pretend to play doggy, but I didn't use it once, so don't recommend bringing 2 belts. I brought a few, well, I'll do dresses first. So I brought this dress and I wore this at least once a week. I brought it specifically for going to church. So it was my nice Sunday dress and it was just a nice little change up once a week, kind of just a fun printed bright sundress. So that did get used a lot. And then I also brought this black sundress here, and this also I did wear. It was nice to have a change up from shorts, you know what I mean? And so it was nice to have 2 dresses. I did like having 2 options. As far as shirts, I brought this one as a PJ shirt. I wore this one often and it kind of made shift as days I didn't want to do kind of like a more structured shirt, I guess. So I did wear this just as a shirt sometimes too. And then this one here is just a neutral sleeveless option. This, and then this one here, a wife beater type tank. These ones I hardly wore at all, mostly because they were sleeveless, and in Asia nobody wears sleeveless. You're kind of like sticking out. I feel like I had heard that before and was like, I can't do that. I get so hot when I travel. I get so like just hot in the heat, like I'm gonna need a sleeveless option. But honestly, when you are the only one sticking out like a sore thumb, I just didn't feel comfortable. If you do and don't care at all, then go for it. But I didn't think I would care, and I ended up kind of caring. So like I said, I kind of ended up wearing the more long sleeves than no sleeves, which was like complete opposite as to what I thought I would. This one here I did wear. I liked that it like kind of was just like a little bit more dressy. However, if I could do it again, I wouldn't bring this one either, because although it had the sleeves, this one had kind of a more V-cut. And again, people do not show cleavage at all in Asia. I don't really necessarily like to show cleavage either. This one, when I tried it on, didn't really, but as I wore it, kind of started to. I liked that I could nurse easy in it, but honestly, I would not pack it again. Nothing with cleavage for Asia I would do. So, and then this one I wore all the time. This one was like just perfect. It was sleeves, it buttoned up well, and it was cute, I thought, for like dressing up any outfit. So this one I did wear quite a bit. Of course, I have my basics here, my underwear, my socks. I brought 3 or 4 pairs. I don't remember how many pairs of socks I brought. 3 in my hand, so I guess I brought 3, but I didn't need them, to be honest. I wore socks like one time, so yeah. Let's see, Dan must not have packed my shoes in here because I don't see them, and my ones that I was just wearing are at the door. So I brought a pair of sandals, and mostly I wore those like with my dresses and stuff, but honestly I did not wear them that often. But I did wear them, and it's easy for summer, just like sliding on and off. The ones I wore most were my natives, and honestly, after they worked totally fine, but after being in them for 3 months, I don't know if I would recommend them as my #1 travel shoe. I don't think I would. I like that type of shoe where it's not quite a gym shoe, it's more of a sneaker, but it's not like fully sneaker, and waterproof. It was really great because of rainy season again, but then water did get in them. I'm not sure what shoe I would really recommend, but I don't know if natives are it. So can't say that I would make that my #1 travel shoe recommendation. I also have a couple of bras here, a sports bra, which I did use, an undershirt I did use, of course a regular bra I used. In here I have just my laptop and charger. Use that all the time. I was working a lot on this trip, so that was definitely a must. Let's see. Okay, so medicines. Thankfully, we really did not have to use medicine at all, so this was not really used, but I still would bring it again because you never know on a trip, you know? I also have, this is pimple patches, which I bought in Korea, skincare stuff. Bought those, didn't go with them, but if you're in Korea, I would definitely buy some skincare. I also picked up, let's see if I have more in here. I didn't pick up that much because I don't like to buy just for the sake of buying. And also, it's really hard to go through all of Young with 4 children in every direction. So that wasn't really that enjoyable for me. But I did pick up from the pharmacy the, okay, I will show you, but it's for blackheads and whiteheads. Ekurin, I don't know what this is, but it's this if you're ever in Korea. And similar to that melanosa cream, it's for you know, hyperpigmentation kind of. Looks like that. Again, this was from the pharmacy. I also bought sunscreen once we were there, but we used the bottle up that I had, and then we had some samples of sunscreen from China Air, I think, or I don't know, one of the airlines we were on gave us like a little gift bag at the end. Never had that happen on an airplane before, but in it was sunscreen and samples. So we were able to kind of use this the rest of our trip, and I still have some left over. More medicine that I brought. Charcoal, didn't have to use once. Virona and chamomilla, and there was another one, aconite. Homeopathy, kind of bigger bottles of this version, and we did end up using these. There were a day or two where Isabel and Juliana had some sort of cold or something, and so we were able to use those. If you only ever get 2 homeopathies, aconite and bryonia are 2 that I would recommend because we use these on start of any illness. Arnica is another good one if you want 3, but those are probably our 3 most used if you're into that. Came home with this. This was from a pharmacy in Korea. This was, Juliana got like a little infection in her ear piercing, so they gave her this to figure that out. Have some left over. My prenatals are pretty much gone. Toothpaste, this is from my mother-in-law. We had toothpaste, but we ran out, and so when we got back home, we finished our little bottle and got this one, so bigger than we packed for the trip. This again, I had a face wash that I actually did bring home, but somehow in our journey home from our 16 hour journey, my face wash is out of my bag somewhere, so I don't know where that went. Lost it, unfortunately, so I just bought this when we got to my mother-in-law's and have a face wash, but I did travel with face wash. Similar with my razor. I had a razor. My little black toiletry bag is not in here, which usually is, so toiletry-wise, I feel like it's hard to say. Brought a brush, used that. Brought a razor, used that. Toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant. The deodorant's gotta be somewhere in here. Oh, in this hidden pocket. So deodorant, and I think that's pretty much all that I brought. A little bit of makeup. I brought a concealer type foundation stick. I use Merit, and I did use that. I used mascara, a little bit of blush. I really brought just the basics, and I used the basics, and I really didn't purchase any when I was abroad, so that's pretty much it. Let's see. AirPods, not AirPods, these are off-brand, but whatever, you get the picture. Did use those. That's all that's in this bag right now, and then this was in there too. My little kind of purse day bag thing that I brought. I honestly, when I had the backpack, the LL Bean, before like the bag I made was created, I would have definitely wanted to bring this. Once I had this, I no longer used this at all because I could just take the packing cubes out really easy to remove the stuff I didn't need, and it was a perfect day bag. It's nice and small, lightweight, so we were able to use it as a day bag and get diapers and, you know, all the stuff that we needed perfectly in here, and it was like cute, so I no longer needed this. But in here right now, let's see, phone charger used. These are, oh, this is like the Bluetooth thing. it's not in there. This is the pouch for the Bluetooth thing. Oh no, I hope I didn't leave it on. No, here it is. Bluetooth for the airplane so that I could connect my headphones and listen. If you're traveling with a infant, baby, somebody who might get tangled in cords going from there, I would definitely recommend this. This came really nice and handy to be able to have that. And then also, like if I was walking the aisles or something and I was listening to an audiobook, then I just had my earbuds and they could connect. If you didn't know, in-flight entertainment has podcasts and radio and audiobooks and stuff that you can listen to there too. So it doesn't have to just be movies and TV shows. Let's see what else I have. All of our passports were in here. Again, I have in the bag here a little pocket where passports kind of go in and down so that they're like kind of more travel safe than just being directly in. So I would keep them there rather than in here, but this worked for the time. Here's the other one. Two little aconite bottles. Went with the other ones I was saying. That's all that's in there. And here I have my international adapter. We needed quite a few. Random pair of Gerard socks, some trash, and a sunscreen stick, baby sunscreen stick for the face, which we used constantly. A pen. Also used a pen. It's nice to have a pen when you travel, especially international, and you have to fill out some of the arrival cards or departure cards, the customs forms. All those things are really nice to have a pen on hand because you don't want to have to wait in line to like use a pen there, you know. And then in here I have a whole bunch of napkins, some receipts. Napkins, especially when you are traveling in Asia, is so nice to have because they're not always readily available, and especially when you have kids. In Korea, specifically, you will get these little wipes pretty much with every meal, and any that we didn't use, I just kept in my purse because it was so nice to have wet wipes. I did bring wet wipes with us, but we ran out, so then it was nice to just be able to kind of have these and stock up there. So that was nice to have. A lot of napkins, tissues type situation in that pocket. And then more. Okay, some money and coins. So money. My cards are not in here, but I've been using them the past couple days, so that's probably why. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's not in here that I would recommend or use. Really, when you pack the basics and the very minimal kind of thing, if you haven't seen, I'll link the video that I did on what I brought and how I chose and the method. I use the 7-to-1 jetpack method to pack. It's actually a method that I kind of created over the last 10 years of traveling over 30 countries. So it's my formula that I use to pack, and when you pack this way, you end up really using most of what you bring, which is kind of nice. Like I said, the jean shorts I left and I don't have those, and the one pair of shorts here I wouldn't bring along with the biker shorts. So there's kind of 3 items and then a couple of the shirts. So yeah, my choices weren't all great. I would make some changes, but as far as number of items, I had enough. And honestly, I might even bring maybe 3 shirts less next time so that I can shop and get something, because that's part of the fun of traveling sometimes, is going to the markets and finding some fun cultural things. And when you pack everything that you need, you no longer have room for things you gain. So definitely I would probably do that next time, even though it kind of seems scary to only pack a couple things. Like if you're gonna, I don't know, I would prefer that. Take souvenirs that you'll actually use rather than like little trinkets that you may not, I guess. Anyway, time to put these things away. As far as kids, the only thing I would change with them, they had enough clothing, like everything was fine with them. The thing that I would change was the toys, and I did a whole video, I can link that one too, on the toys and items that I brought to keep my kids entertained. I was with them by myself. I went without my husband when we left for Korea. So I was like, I need everything. I need to make sure they are entertained. I would bring less. I would pare it down so much, because even when we were in our apartments and they just needed something to play with, like on days we were taking it more easy, they found the most random things in the apartment that they ended up playing with more than their actual toys. Kids can just find things to entertain themselves. Like I really did not need as many things, and I kept it the whole time we were traveling. Like I wanted to start getting rid of some so that we didn't have to carry it around, but I was worried about the plane ride coming home and them again needing things to keep them entertained, and they just didn't. They didn't need all the things. So if you watch that video and see what I brought them as far as the kids, clothing wise and stuff wise, they had just what they needed. Toy wise, there was too much. I would probably bring half of what I had. So that's my unpacking. I'm gonna go put this stuff away. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have comments or questions in the comments below. See you next time.